Hello everybody, it's Tim again here with another review, and this time for The Color Purple. Now this is the original Color Purple, not the new remake that I think is done as a musical, and I believe this is based off a book and it's directed by Steven Spielberg, this movie is. As far as this film goes, from 1 to 4 stars, I'd give it a 4 out of 4. I thought it was awesome. This movie's entirely off my beaten track in terms of what I review on this channel, but I watched this movie for the first time, actually. I had never seen this before, and it's pretty much considered a classic film, and I had never seen this before, so I figured, give it a shot. And also because the remake's out, and I wanted to watch the remake because it was a newer film, and I figured if I'm gonna watch the remake, I should watch the original first. Now, as far as this goes, Whoopi Goldberg is in this, and I think because Whoopi Goldberg is just known for stuff like The View and stuff like that now and everything, like, people forget that she was a good actress. Like, she was good in Ghost, and she's good here in this film, in The Color Purple. She gives a great performance. It is a bit of a, like, I guess the word introverted performance because she plays like an abused woman. So she's just really quiet for a lot of the film and all that, but she does a good job at that. And so she's not like entirely captivating to watch for some of the movie because she is so introverted and not really wanting to talk and all that, even though it makes perfect sense for their character. So for some of the film, you're not completely captivated by the character because she is so introverted. But by the time you get to the end of the film, when she flies off on Danny Glover and gives that big speech and stands up for herself, finally you're like, hell yeah. Danny Glover plays a real piece of shit in this movie. His character is a complete asshole. He gets like a child bride at the beginning of the movie, which is Whoopi Goldberg's character. We see her age throughout the film, and he like wants to like sleep with her even younger sister and all that. And this was like a common thing back in the day as well, like child brides and stuff like that. Where, of course, thank God it's not going on now, except in some like weird religious cults and communities. But yeah, so he plays a real piece of shit, and he like beats on Whoopi Goldberg throughout the movie. I just completely hated his character. Throughout the movie, I was like, kill him, kill him. By the time you get to the end of the movie, though, and she stands up to him, you can tell towards the end of the movie, though, when he's like watching her from afar and everything like that, he's regretting like the way he treated her and all that. He is kind of happy for her that she's like reunited with her sister and everything. At the same time, his character is such a piece of shit that even though they're trying to humanize him, at least for me, I wanted him dead. But still, though, you see why he is how he is. It's because of his father raised him to be that way. His father was a piece of shit and raised him to be a piece of shit. Even though he does somewhat seem to learn the error of his ways by the end of the movie, that he obviously knows he was wrong and shouldn't have acted the way he did towards Whoopi Goldberg. And then his son, he tries to like raise the same way or whatever in the movie. And eventually his son like rejects that, and is by the end of the movie, you just tell his son is like a better person than him, and he's like married to Oprah Winfrey. And in the movie, he's with Oprah Winfrey, and they're like hanging out, and like this white chick's like asking her for something or whatever to do something, and she's like says no, and after she says no, the dude comes up to her, and the white dude, her husband, I guess, comes up to her and basically tells her off, and she like punches him, and then she gets like the beat up with the butt of a gun, which. This probably happened in the book, but part of me is thinking, is this realistic? I mean, a black chick, like, or a black person in general, whatever, like, punching out a white person or something like that back in the day at this time, wouldn't they just be, like, automatically lynched? I mean, that's a horrible thing to say, but, I mean, realistically, I don't know. I just feel like that would have been more realistic, that they would have just killed Oprah Winfrey's character, to be honest. And that is one of the problems with this movie, is that the way it's shot in certain moments and the way it's filmed and directed by Spielberg, which overall is good directing, but the way he's filming the movie and executing the movie at certain points, it feels a bit Disney-fied, like a bit too sugary sweet at moments. And when the kids are at the beginning as the children versions of the two sisters, of the Whoopi Goldberg character and the other girl, their acting is good, but at the same time, some of the way one of the scenes is shot some of the scenes is shot with the kids, it does seem a bit melodramatic when they're like screaming out and everything. And just the tone of the movie at certain points, like when Whoopi Goldberg's like throwing chocolate gold coins or whatever out the back of a train, it seems a bit too Disney-fied, too overly sentimental, sugary. But overall, though, I appreciate the dark aspects of this movie, which I wasn't ready for. When I started watching this movie, I was like, okay, is this going to be like one of those, movies about like black persecution and stuff like we've had a bunch afterwards after this movie? And really, no. This is really like a feminist story about the abuse of Whoopi Goldberg's character. This really could have just easily been rewritten just to focus on a white woman, like a white child bride. It really didn't have to be like focused on black characters. I mean, it could have been rewritten. This basic story could have to where it could have been really any type of woman, Asian woman or whatever. But making them black women and centering the movie on pretty much a predominantly black cast does give the movie that extra, different feel of what it would have been. Um, I guess culturally, if it would have just been like a white woman, that would have been more generic, I suppose. It does make it more interesting to watch by focusing on a predominantly black cast and black characters. Um, Anything else? Seeing like the end of the movie and Whoopi Goldberg's like reunited with her children or whatever. She was like raped by the dude that she thought was her father, but it turns out it wasn't. He was just the dude that like basically took them when they were kids after her father died, I guess. And she's like reunited with her children that he gave away. And that seemed a bit far-fetched and seemed a bit too like clean up of a happy ending, that she's like reunited with her children, that she would ever like see them again, really, that her other sister managed to find them. I do like the fact that she was reunited with her sister at the end, her little sister. That was cool and heartwarming. Honestly, I would have been fine if it would just ended like that. But at the same time, though, this character has been through so much shit that they wanted to give it like a really happy ending for her, and I get that. Overall, this was an awesome flick. It is not a perfect movie. Like I've stated, there are some flaws, at least some problems I had. But overall, it is an awesome flick. It's a 4 out of 4 film. I would give it a full price in terms of seeing it, in terms of like movie terms, full price matinee, rental, whatever. Um, Overall, yeah, it's a 4 out of 4. This is the best Whoopi Goldberg performance I have seen, and she looks good in the film. Like, I think a lot of people see Whoopi Goldberg now that she's like older and has like put on like a lot of weight and everything. They forget that she was pretty cute and good-looking woman when she was younger. And another thing is that, one other problem I had with the movie is there's like this hint of a lesbian romance between Whoopi Goldberg and this other chick, which I know was like in the book or whatever, and they get like a very mild kissing moment scene. So I'm guessing that's hinting that the other chick is like maybe bisexual or whatever, or at least experimenting. That goes nowhere. Like, that could have been completely excised from the movie, that entire like subplot, because it adds nothing. And I know that was one of the complaints against the film at the time, because it is a bigger part of the book, and I think it's a bigger part of the musical thing. And Spielberg said that he toned that down basically so the movie would have more mainstream appeal, and that he regrets it. I get where he was coming from. Honestly, it was the right choice at the time, because audiences weren't really ready for more of like a lesbian romance type story or whatever in a movie. He made the right choice, but at the same time, it's so toned down that he should have just deleted it, honestly. But yeah, overall, awesome flick. I really enjoyed it, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you again.